Ta-da! Hey everyone, welcome to our video session for teachers only. So I hope you're all doing and feeling great today. I'm Anna, a regular host here and the founder of Teachers Love Edu. So before we dive in and I introduce you our dear guest speaker, I would love to ask you a regular question here: from which part of the world you're tuning from, and you can share with the name of the city where you live and or town. I would love to see our geography today, and I'm really excited for today's session as always, because today we're talking about the nuts and bolts of Tkt with brilliant Anna Kashcheeva. I'm going to introduce her in a very short time period, and I also want to look through our chat because I know that someone has already joined us today. I'm so excited to see you all. I always miss you so much, actually. I love our video sessions. And I can see Antonia, thanks so much for joining us from Romania. History teacher, well, I love history. We've got a history project in Flipgrid, so welcome to join us. And I can see Valerie, he is a great friend of mine from Russia. Hello there, thanks for joining us. And Shamal, thanks so much for joining from Iraqi. Thank you so much. And so Valerie is ready to start. Let's start. Yeah, we're all ready. And I love to see that you're so excited. So am I. And I would love to say hello to the Umbrella Academy from Mexico. Thanks for joining us. What time is it in your area? Please do share in the comments below. And so, as I mentioned before, it's high time for you to hit the like button right now to this video so more people can watch it after or right now. Join us here. And I also would love to ask you to subscribe to this channel, because that's how you can join to our live chat today. And I have already shared with the quiz or with a poll, so you can vote there. So do you know anything of Tkt, or this is your very first time? And we're going just to introduce you this amazing Cambridge exam for teachers. It's nice to see you too. I'm so excited to see you all, as I mentioned. Yeah, and of course we are live on YouTube, 2 channels at once, and on Facebook. So my dear Facebook users, please do follow the link that I attached to our Facebook post and join us on YouTube. That's how I can see your beautiful names, because that's how that's what I can see. That someone, Aida, sorry, I can see your name. Thanks for mentioning this in your post over there. Aida from Egypt has joined us, but please do join us on YouTube so I can see your sharing there, because if you've got any questions, please drop them in our Q&A box in our live chat, and do share with your hows, wows, highlights from the session. And also in a short period of time, I'm going to share with our reflection space, a space or collection where you can add your feedbacks. And I really want to see them, and please do remember to add any of your contacts. That's how I can reach you out and share with the certificate of participation, because sometimes you share with amazing and beautiful comments there, but I do not know to whom I should address it. I don't know how to email you or anything, how to reach you out. Okay, please drop a comment with any information of your contacts. Okay, so looking forward to share that you now. Not this way. Please use the Q&A box. Ask any questions and share with your insights and highlights from this session, okay? And also you can chat and just share from which part of the world and what time it is right now in your area. And I would love to say hi to Olga Yefimova. Thanks for joining us from Belgorod, Russia. So excited to see you too. And again, from Facebook, we can see the Bansi educators. Yeah, I'm Bansi educator, but it's not like Bansi meeting today. However, I love Bansi, I really love Bansi. So this is so cool, Olga. Indeed, thanks so much for joining us again. On this positive note, I would love to invite our dear guest speaker, Anna Kashcheeva. Anna, welcome to our studio, to our live show. I'm so excited. You know how much time we were planning this, and I'm really happy that you joined us today to share all your awesomeness today. That I know that you're a great expert, and actually I would love to introduce you just briefly, because you can add more titles. I'm sure that there are more titles that you mentioned in our collection. I know that you are, oh my gosh, you're a teacher trainer, and this is really huge. International House, Trinity College, and Cambridge University's teacher training programs. Wow, this is so inspired. Please add something more, because I know that you provide amazing courses for teachers.
Thank you, Anna, for inviting me. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. So it is happening, yes.
Yay!
Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm very excited about. Yeah, and yeah, I am a teacher, first of all, and I don't have an intention of leaving the classroom anytime soon. That's the first thing. And that's basically how I get ideas for my input sessions, yeah, for the training courses. I'm a Celta trainer and a Delta trainer, and I've been running like Tkt preparation courses for some time, for quite a while. So I'm ready to share some ideas here. Yeah, and yeah, I run a variety of other courses as well, like certificate in advanced methodology, something that we are running at the moment with my colleagues. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which is quite a nice course, you know, to jump from Celta or Tkt level to something like Delta. Yeah.
Wow, this is incredible. Please do add these links to your courses to our collection so people can be a little bit more familiar, yeah, with the resources and the agenda of these courses. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, you can find quite a few links in my bio on Instagram. Yeah, I think I've provided that. Yeah,
yeah, and the tap link with the resources.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there. So I'm going to share it, yeah, the resource collection in the very end, and also with the reflection space, as I mentioned before. And one thing I forgot to mention, so sorry, Anna, for interrupting you here, that at the very end of the session, we are playing Kahoot. It is a sort of reflection thing that we can take at the very end of this session. So Anna, the mic is yours. You're incredible, and good luck. Yeah, can't wait to learn from you.
Right. Okay. How do I share the slides? Just click on that screen.
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay, you can see everything.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's on.
Okay, thank you very much. So, yes, let's get started. The topic is quite interesting today. Teaching knowledge test, yeah, and obviously, well, that's the abbreviation, that's what it stands for, Tkt. Although it says teaching knowledge test, I believe that many teachers are already aware of many things related to teaching, right? And you don't need extreme preparation, yeah, or something. But perhaps some of you would like to brush up on some skills and maybe go to great lengths to prepare for the course, for the test, for taking the test. So what I'm saying is there is a little bit of confusion in between Tkt tests and Tkt courses, right? So I'll be talking about the Tkt as a test, first of all, and I'm not going to entice you to enroll on a preparation course of some kind. But it doesn't mean that you can't do that. It's a very good thing to do, to be honest. Anyway, so let's get started by looking at an extract from a well-known book. So probably you recognize this extract. Yeah, have a look. Does it ring a bell? So what do you think I'm driving at? So if you look at what Alice is asking, yeah, and what the cat is answering, it's basically about how to achieve a goal. But without a goal, without setting the goal, setting your priorities, identifying them clearly, you can't actually achieve anything. Yeah, it's vague. So that's what I wanted to highlight at the very beginning. And because Tkt is a test and there are different models, it's very important to identify an area you want to work on, right? And then obviously it's like choosing the right way, maybe the shortest way, if you're well prepared already and you think you're familiar with most of the terms and task types, or maybe you need a little bit more time and considering, you know, a more thorough approach of preparation. So that might help. However, again, I'm not changing the slide yet. We can still focus on evaluating our professional development activities. So, for example, you've decided you can prepare for Tkt on your own. You've taken, I don't know, you've decided to take Tkt Model 3 just because it's practical on classroom management, something like that, yeah? And you start delving into the topic. And perhaps you can see that there are a couple of nice books on classroom management, and you're already an experienced teacher, it makes sense to you. And at a certain point, you come up with a sample paper and you see, I don't know how to explain the right answers here. So it's not working in this mode. So we need to keep reflecting in our experience and evaluate our professional development activities. And at a certain point, we may change our mind, yeah? So you change the tune and you decide to take the course. That's also possible. So with this kind of metaphorical way of starting our input session, yeah, I've decided to introduce Tkt. So Tkt, as I have already mentioned, is a test. It stands for Teaching Knowledge Test. And there are several models you can take. You can take them independently, whatever your priority is, yeah? Or you can think, well, all three models, all core models are very important, yeah, for any teacher. If you want to be a teacher, obviously all three models will be a must, I'd say. If you are already an experienced teacher and you want to confirm your level of proficiency in teaching, understanding methodology, then again, you can choose all three models or one model at a time to focus on. So Tkt Core Models, you can see them in blue here, are the areas that are important for any teacher. It doesn't matter whether you're a school teacher, a private tutor, experienced, or you lack experience. The first model, as you can see in the box, is aimed at assess your understanding of the principles of learning and teaching. And by learning, I mean, of course, language learning. Yeah, so how languages are learned in general, or they are acquired maybe, or maybe both. Yeah, and what teaching approaches we can consider to help our learners. So things like language acquisition and the differences between language acquisition and language learning will pop up, yeah, and also we will have to demonstrate our understanding of some theories like methodology, whether we are using an inductive approach or deductive approach, for example, when we teach grammar. And also some other methods that are important when you run lessons. Tkt Model 2 is more practical, and experienced teachers love working on that model because there is an element of lesson planning there. And when you take a course and you come together and take part in a workshop with other teachers, you can actually collaborate. You can learn from each other. Yeah, you can nick ideas, you can share your ideas and understanding of different principles of lesson planning. So that's what Tkt Model 2 is for. We'll be looking at different resources, yeah, when we prepare for Tkt Model 2. And of course, those of you who are preparing for the test on your own, you've decided you can do it. It's a good idea to reflect on your teaching experience, like whatever the lesson is, you've delivered that. Yeah, after the lesson, having delivered the lesson. So take some time to reflect. What went well? Why? What helped you achieve your aims? Yeah, and what went not so well? Yeah, and next time perhaps you can run it in a different ways. So these kind of reflections will help you improve your lesson planning skills and teaching in general. Tkt Model 3 is, as I have already mentioned, quite a practical model because we focus on classroom management, what usually happens in the classroom, how we deal with different problems. For example, we correct our learners or we don't. Yeah, we help them improve their performance by giving feedback, what kind of interaction patterns we can use and how we can arrange pairs, for example, and so on and so forth. So that's quite an interesting and important model as well. So as you can see, these three models are really important ones, and that's why the name stands here, core areas. They're important for any teacher in different contexts. However, I've seen some people who are subject teachers. Yeah, in the chat box, there was a history teacher, yeah, I've seen, saying hello to us. So if you are a subject teacher with good knowledge of English, perhaps you can run your history lessons in English, yeah, for language learners. And they can learn history and English at the same time. This is an example of CLIL, yeah, sort of soft CLIL, when you run lessons in another language. Yeah, or you are exposing students to a variety of cultural aspects, yeah, because culture, communication, content, and content areas are many. It's not only history, it can be geography or biology or something else, yeah, will be covered there. And of course, the level of cognition is very important, the level of challenge that we are trying to give to our learners. Yeah, so that's what Tkt CLIL is about. Yeah, I'll show you a sample from one of the tests, well, an extract, obviously, because in this short period of time, I won't be able to highlight everything, but just to give you a clue what it might be like. Yes, chemistry, you see math. Yeah, so CLIL is for you. And you can start teaching English or your subjects, yeah, with better understanding of the principles behind that. Yeah, it'll be more efficient, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can add here, Anna, because I know Valery, he's really passionate. He really wants to take this exam. And yeah, he was really excited to become a part of this webinar, to learn from you. Yeah, I know that from him.
That's great. I think we need to arrange the whole, webinar on just Tkt CLIL, yeah, to give
Yes.
an overview of that.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. That's why we are so short-lived today. Thank you.
Cool. And I also wanted to give an example from Tkt Young Learners, yeah, who it might be useful for. Yeah, hello, everyone. So Tkt Young Learners, well, for obvious reasons, I don't have to explain what young learners are like. But to be honest, in Tkt, young learners is quite a narrow category, yeah? It's about primary school children from 7 to 12 years old. So this is basically, yeah, for those who work with that age group. If you work with very young learners, some of the things will be useful, obviously. If you work with teenagers, juniors, yeah, it might be useful too, but their target audience is for those who work with primary school children. Right, with that in mind, yeah, so let's continue, and we'll be focusing on both core areas and specialist areas, and I'll try to clarify what is behind that. What is the test like, yeah, whatever the model you want to take. Now, let's look a little bit at Tkt CLIL. Whatever the specialist model you want to take, and there are two, remember, Tkt Young Learners and Tkt CLIL. The structure will be more or less the same. Yeah, there will be about 4 sections there, and they are designed to assess your knowledge, first of all, of the content area. Now, if we are looking at Tkt CLIL, then the content area for us is CLIL, yeah, the methodology, content and language integrated learning, how well you understand the principles of that. If we are talking about Tkt Young Learners, obviously this will be about working with young learners, like which approaches we can use, how young learners are different from adult learners, their characteristics and so on. The content area, right? And then there are 3 other areas that are covered in the test throughout. One of the most important areas, again, is lesson preparation. Remember, Core Model 2 is on lesson planning. So most of the aspects are covered there. But here we are looking at the examples from the lessons with CLIL, yeah, or lessons with young learners. So it's more specific, it's more focused. Practically more useful, I would say, yeah, for those who work with this particular age group or type of lessons. And then there are 2 other areas, lesson delivery, which is similar to Tkt Core Model 3, yeah, classroom management, and assessment, of course, which also belongs to the core models. It is covered, yeah, but it is also covered in each separate model on specialism areas. So this is it. So whatever the model is, actually, it is the same in terms of the length, you'll be given 80 minutes to take the test, and you'll have to answer only 80 questions. Isn't it fun? Yeah, so it's just a piece of cake, basically. You're given about 1 minute to answer a question. And if you know everything, it'll be very straightforward. You'll have to tick the right box, basically, yeah? Identifying the right answer. You won't have to produce anything. They won't ask you to write anything. It'll be only choosing the right answer, shading the lozenges there in the answer sheet, yeah? So 80 minutes, 80 questions. You can earn 80 points if you answer all of the questions accurately, yeah? It's okay if you make a couple of mistakes, yeah? But if you've answered like most of the questions, you'll be awarded the highest band. Good news, you can't fail Tkt. Whatever, yeah, the taker is, whatever their knowledge is, they'll earn the certificate. So be brave, take those tests. What I wanted to say, that there are different task types there. And you can see on the slide, I'm highlighting 2 task types. They are multiple choice and matching, and they're the most common, frequently used tasks. However, there is one more task. It looks like either multiple choice or matching, but there will be a tiny difference there. There will be something tricky. There will be not in the question, in the rubric. So you'll have to spot that, and your answers will be the opposite from the correct, yeah, sort of. So we call that odd one out type of task. It is very similar to, as I have already mentioned, multiple choice or matching, but you need to be more attentive, yeah, what they're asking you to identify, that's it. It's not really stressful, no, if you're well prepared, if you know what to expect, if you know what task types will be there, which areas will be covered, yeah, it'll be a piece of cake, seriously. So there is nothing impossible. In the past, there used to be a computer-based test. I'm still highlighting that. At the moment, as far as I know, in Russia, there is no such a thing. There is only paper-based. But to be honest, I think in this time, yeah, which is quite difficult times for all of us, yeah, we shift online all the time. I think some of the tests will be available online again. In the nearest future. At the moment, all Tkt tests are paper-based, just for your knowledge, yeah? Now, as I have already mentioned, you can't fail Tkt, which is great, right? So you just take the test, and whatever the result is, you'll get this certificate. It will look like this. There will be your name at the top of this certificate. The name of the model will be highlighted at the top as well, and also the band that you deserve, which means your result will be highlighted as well. So there are 4 bands in Tkt, and that's why you can't fail it, because there is no such a thing as 0. If you have limited knowledge, you will earn band 1. So without preparation, you can go and take Tkt, yeah, without any fear, because you'll earn the certificate. However, of course, if you consider that wisely and prepare well for the test, yeah, you can earn the highest band, which is band 4. And that's, of course, we want, well, every candidate to get. Now, as I have already mentioned, Tkt is a very nice tool. Yeah, it's just a test. It's easy to take. It doesn't take long, just 80 minutes. You come, you take the test, and you earn an internationally recognized certificate. Isn't it nice? Tkt is designed for different types of teachers. Yeah, teachers all over the world take tests like that. Yeah, to demonstrate that they do understand the theories, the methodology behind that. Yeah, and they can teach well. So it is basically for new teachers, newly qualified teachers, for more experienced and quite experienced teachers. If you work in the primary sector, or you work with secondary school children, teenagers, or adult learners. Basically, there are no formal entry requirements, which means you just register, you choose which test you want to take, you register for that. I'll show you how, and you can take it. That's it. Let us talk a little bit about Cambridge qualifications in general and the recommendations that they are giving, how you can develop professionally. I really like referring to this framework. This grid shows different areas that teachers can focus on to develop professionally. Remember the quote from Alice, yeah? So we need to identify which way to go, which area to focus on. Without that, we are sort of blinded, right? So the first area you can focus on is learning and the learner. That's a very important area. Yeah, whatever experience you've got, little experience or huge, you can basically develop that area by identifying your learners' needs. And I think it's ongoing. We can't start running a series of lessons without collecting information about our learners, and that's what we ask our CELPA trainees to do on the first day of the course. And it's the same for other courses with teaching practice component. In TKT, obviously, you don't have to do that, but with your regular classes, with your real students, perhaps it's a good idea to think about what their goals are, what kind of motivation they've got, yeah, and so on and so forth. That will help you develop in this area and try to find the materials according to your learners' needs, yeah, in the future. Now, the second area is teaching, learning, and assessment. Remember, I showed you some of the sections in Tkt CLIL, for example. So assessment belongs there. Yeah, it's one of the areas. It's very important. And obviously, different models cover teaching principles and how languages are learned in general, those. So that's what it is about. So, for example, do you think learners usually put some effort into learning, or they can pick up things effortlessly? What do you think? So in my experience and opinion, both of the processes should be involved, yeah, to make the learning effective, to make it happen. First of all, we need to expose our learners to a variety of good language use, yeah, like different texts, videos, whatever. Yeah, and at the same time, yeah, we help them understand certain strategies, like how to take notes, how to revise for a test, for example, or another lesson, yeah, how to basically reinforce learning. So that is quite interesting and important. Now, the next category, if you look at the grid again, is language ability. And the one after that is language awareness. So there is an overlap in between them, yeah, language ability and language awareness. Now, the language awareness is about your understanding of how to clarify something. And your language ability is basically how you can use language, yeah. For example, whether you are giving natural and accurate models, yeah. So they are connected and extremely important. So if you want to improve your skills, yeah, perhaps you can consider taking a course and take like CAE or CPE exam, like to confirm your level of proficiency. That will be the first category, language ability, yeah. And you can also focus on different books on methodology and read books and do research on different areas. And of course, you'll be using the books for teachers, yeah, language for teachers. Like, for example, the one that comes to mind is About Language by Scott Thornberry. Yeah, a nice book to read. So yeah, language awareness. And finally, we have here at the bottom, professional development. So professional development is something straightforward, obviously, but at the same time, it's a huge area, yeah? And by just reflecting on your teaching practice, yeah, and identifying your strengths and some areas you can work on, you are already working on your professional development. So you have the right attitude to towards learning, towards teaching, your job in general. And I think if you've selected this job, actually, you've decided to be a teacher at a certain point, yeah, then probably you'll be working on your professional development, your beliefs and values all the time. Right, so let's have a look at this sample. It comes from Tkt Core Models, the first model, and it is on your language awareness, actually. Language ability and language awareness. So have a look. It's a very difficult question. I'm not sure if I've done it right. And there are some options given. Keep in mind, it's an odd one out. There is not in the instructions given. So which answer will be correct? A, B, or C in your opinion? Okay, I'll give you a moment to think. Anna, help me if you can see the answers.
Sure. I'm over here, and let me check it once again. There is from Olga. Sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure. So you think sure is not an adjective? Yes, Olga?
Yeah, I guess this is the answer.
Okay. What might it be then if it's not an adjective in this? The verb to be plus something, right? It is an adjective actually. So try again. Okay, let me just show you the correct answer. It's actually right. I've done it right. Yeah, and in this case, we've got the adverb, right, which refers to the action of doing something. Yeah, so that's what we use adverbs for. So I'm sure is an adjective. Yeah, and it's a very difficult question. Obviously, it's an adjective, so it's used. Both of them are used after the verb to be to describe something. Yeah, not an action. Like difficult question. Yeah, we define the question here.
It's not sure, obviously, right?
Yeah. So it's a tricky question. There are a couple of things here. First of all, we can see quite a lot of adjectives that may be adverbs at the same time in different contexts. And secondly, we have not in the question. So it's a very challenging one. That's
There's a great highlight. Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's talk about some practical things. Yeah, if you want to prepare for TKT, what books perhaps you want to read to become more confident, right? So you can see a couple of books here. Well, the most important will be books on TKT. This title is highlighted, obviously, on the cover. Yeah, and there is Tkt Core Models course book, and also Tkt CLIL book. In the past, there used to be another test. So if you find that course book, it can help you with your language awareness as well. However, for some other models, for example, Tkt Young Learners, there is no such a thing as a course book, right? So I'm suggesting using one of the books on how to teach young learners. One of them is Jane Moon's book, Children Learning English. You can see it on the slide. Another one is, well, there are hundreds of books, on teaching young learners, thousands, millions, myriad books on teaching young learners. The one that I like, another one that I haven't highlighted here on the slide, but I would like to mention is Anna Maria Pinter, Teaching Young Language Learners. Yeah, that's another one. But you can find some other books on teaching young learners. These two books that I've mentioned by Jane Moon and Anna Maria Pinter, both of them are focused on primary school children, and that's why they're appropriate for this test preparation. If we talk about Tkt CLIL, there are a couple of other sources, supplementary materials that we can use apart from the course book on Tkt. One of them you can see here on the slide. It is Tkt Activities. It's a very practical book with plenty of activities, well, as the name suggests. There are other books that you can find in different bookshops and online. For example, the CLIL resource pack. I really like it. and a variety of books with the name Marsh on the cover. Yeah, because he coined CLIL, and yeah, whatever the book with his name you can find, it will be useful. Yeah, I'll show you some useful resources at the end of the session. There might be some other supplementary books that you may enjoy reading. One of the nicest sources of information will be Jeremy Harmon's book, the one in the middle of the slide, because it covers nearly all aspects we need to know for Tkt, all the models. Yeah, there are quite a few chapters on the core areas, and there is a chapter on young learners, yeah, and there is a chapter on CLIL. So you can find nearly everything there in that book, and it's a little bit more descriptive with more examples than in Tkt books, because Tkt is a test, right? And you will find a lot of sample tests there, which is also important, of course. So it's good to have a combination of different sources. Right. Let's have a look at a sample from Model 1, which is on lesson planning. So how well do you know the lesson plan components? Let's have a look. We've got aims, procedure, and assumptions. So the aims is something that we identify before we start teaching, like the idea, what's the lesson is for, yeah, will be your aim. And then the procedure is something that we are planning to do in the lesson, like how we'll be interacting with our students, what tasks we are going to set up for them, and so on and so forth. This is our procedure. And finally, assumptions is something that we assume students perhaps know, and that can help us in the lesson. Sorry. So let's have a look at these two extracts from lesson plans. What are they about? Are they about aims? It's B. Oh, sorry, it's A. Are they about the procedure? So it's B. Or their assumptions? It's C. Yeah, they're different, so you can choose different things there. So I'll give you a moment to think. And because I can't see the chat box, I'm going to highlight the answers, hoping that you've got the same ideas. Yeah, so for the first one, students will remember how to form blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's basically a well-stated assumption. Yeah, you know your learners, you've collected enough information about them, and you can make some assumptions about what can help you in the lesson, right? So, for example, this material, they have already studied that, yeah, earlier, and that can help you somehow. And number two, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to do something. That's a well-stated lesson aim, right? And the aim is stated as an outcome. It's easier to evaluate the success of such lesson, right? Like if they've done that, if they demonstrated that they're able to do that, fantastic, your aim has been achieved. And also, of course, this aim is stated from the students' perspectives, which we really like seeing in lesson plans. So that's lesson planning. That's what lesson planning in Tkt is like. So it basically tests your understanding of the principles of lesson planning. Now, if you look at CLIL, Tkt CLIL, the lesson planning is also important, obviously, but it's going to be a little bit more sophisticated. Let me explain why. Well, in Tkt CLIL, we are focused on the areas. Remember, I've already mentioned them: content, communication, yeah, cognitive skills, thinking skills, and cultural aspects. So our aims will also be stated with these things in mind. Yeah, either the content area, or language, yeah, and communication, thinking skills, yeah, and cultural aspects as well. So for CLIL, the task will be something like this: to identify the aims of classroom activities. What kind of learning objectives will they help us to meet? So let's have a look at number one. Learners find out about attitudes to keeping fit in different societies. Okay, so hopefully different societies ring a bell, yeah, and you have culture in mind here, because that's what it is about. And the second one, yeah, learners put the names of different habitats. So it's about vocabulary, the language that the students will need to focus on that area, right? A little bit challenging, yeah. So, but with thorough considerations of all the options, perhaps you can choose the right one. In Tkt CLIL, they focus a lot on thinking skills, as I have already said. So let me just explain the difference between thinking skills. We can split them into two categories, high order thinking and low order thinking. So things like listen and repeat will be low order thinking skills, yeah? Whereas justifying your point of view, giving a reason for something, yeah? Evaluating information, or creating something based on a rule, for example, yeah, creating your own example, those will be high order thinking skills, and they're extremely important. And that's why I've decided to focus on them. And here you can see the definitions. Now, good news, Tkt CLIL has a special glossary of the terms. So if you want to take the test, find the glossary. I'll show you where you can find it, and prepare for the test without missing the most important terms. Now, let's talk a little bit about different topical areas that might be important for any model. We have already talked about lesson planning and classroom management. And remember, I've mentioned focus on the learner, the topic which is really important for those teachers who want to meet their students' needs and run efficient lessons. There are a couple of other things. These are the topics actually from the input sessions that you can see on a Tkt preparation course. Yeah, there will be quite a few things that we'll have to mention there, just because it's important to understand them, as in the text, they will be covered. Yeah, they might be, and they're likely to be there. So the most challenging area, I would say, probably, well, one of the most challenging areas is pronunciation. Different features of connected speech, stress, just phonemes, you know, the symbols that we use to identify different sounds and the difference in between words, things like that. So those tasks might be quite challenging for inexperienced people. So perhaps you can consider taking a preparation course if you don't know much about that. Different approaches and presentation techniques, something like a situational presentation or guided discovery. Yeah, I've mentioned deductive or inductive approaches, those. The differences in between teaching skills and systems, yeah, and if it is a productive skill or a receptive skill, things like that. So let's focus on different approaches. In the box here, you can see 3 examples of different presentation techniques or teaching approaches. Yeah. So when we teach grammar, for example, we can use test, teach, test. So by assuming that our students know something about this grammar already, they must have heard something about the present perfect. Perhaps first, I'll give them this task to see what they're capable of, right? And then I'll teach some of the things that they're not very confident about. Yeah, that's why we're using test, teach, test. Now, presentation, practice, production is quite the opposite approach. Yeah, we assume students know nothing or nearly nothing, and they expect us to cover everything, yeah, in a teacher-led manner. And that's why first we present the target language, explicitly clarifying everything, and then we put that into practice. With task-based learning, we usually focus on developing productive skills, and there is a particular task with a communicative focus that we give our students to help them develop basically some skills and feel the need for a particular target language, yeah, for particular item. For example, I don't know, if you ask your students to talk about their experiences, then probably you'll be working with task-based learning, and they'll have to use the present perfect at a certain point. Well, at least they will feel the need to use it. I can see that, yeah, Valerie is giving the answer, right? Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
I think people little bit shy. Don't be afraid. You can make mistakes. It's okay. It's
Yes,
not
it's
worse,
okay to make mistakes. And test, teach, test, and task-based learning have something in common. Yeah, so I do understand why we can make this mistake, this error. So in task-based learning, we often give our students a task with the same aim. We want to see whether they are capable to do this task, to perform without our intervening, without our help and assistance. Test, teach, test is basically the same, but in a test, teach, test approach, the focus is primarily on grammar, or whatever the target language is. In task-based learning, the focus is on communication, and that's the difference in between two. So here, learners would like to study grammar and lexicon patterns, and that's why test, teach, test is better. All right.
Yeah, I think this is really important information. So I think every teacher needs to know that.
Thank you. Yeah, I also think so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, with lesson planning, we need to be aware of different types of aims. I love clarifying different types of aims for my trainees. So first of all, we need to see whether the lesson is on skills or systems. What is our priority? Of course, we usually run lessons with different things in mind. And there will be both receptive skills, some examples from texts, and productive activities, and there will be the input on language. But what is our main aim is very important. That's how we see it. And then the rest will be sub-aims. And if you think about the procedure, you'll be highlighting your stage aims, and they will reflect your sub-aims and your main lesson aims, if it makes sense. So what I usually say is that there are two types of lessons, generally. They might be a combination, of course, but usually we focus on either on skills, and this is our priority, or on system. So let's imagine you want to use a text, let's say a text about sports, I don't know, or something. And your main priority is to help students develop reading skills. And you'll be gradually preparing them for the most important reading task, which is likely to be reading in detail, right? Something like questions like why, what do you think the author thinks, and so on. And to help them achieve that, you'll be giving GIST task first, like you have only 1 minute. Look at the text. What do you think it is about? What might be the title? Choose the accompanying picture, something like that. So reading for GIST comes first, right? And then perhaps you'll pre-teach some words that will help them understand the text in detail, right? But you're not deviating from the main priority, from the main focus of the lesson, reading. You don't spend too much time on lexis. You don't spend too much time on helping students. You're focusing on giving them some time and equipping them with some strategies, how to read the text, whether to read it fast, ignoring some unknown words, or focusing on some unfamiliar words and deducing meaning, right? That is about a lesson on reading. The same text can be used to present language because it's full of expressions about sports and different activities, and you can make use of that. So you'll ask your students to read the text first, to set the context, to expose them to that text with the target language, and then probably you will help them somehow recognize that there are some useful expressions there, and you'll be focusing on them, clarifying the language, and then you'll create or find some activities to help them put that into practice. So one and the same text can be used for different purposes. So what I'm saying is you need to know what your main lesson aim is, first of all. That's the first thing. Okay. Then when you plan your lessons, you need to be able to anticipate problems, and that's how you can improve your teaching and help your learners. So what do? Yeah, we anticipate problems related to different tasks, topics, some of the instructions because the tasks are unfamiliar, or something else. You can see quite a few examples in front of you. So, for example, the most typical problem that the topic might not be appealing, like my students are not very sportive yet. They don't want to talk about sport at all. So you might anticipate that. And then probably you need to find a nice quote, or you perhaps show a short video at the beginning of the lesson, or you can tell a short anecdote to engage them with the topic of the lesson, to motivate them. Yeah. So there are different solutions that you'll have to provide. So if we talk about Tkt as a test, obviously you don't have to run a lesson there, right? You'll have to identify the right solution, for example, for some anticipated problems, or maybe match some typical problems, yeah, for the learners' profiles or something like that. So let's have a look at one of the tasks. What do you think the aim of this activity might be? Okay, it's great that it is interesting. Do you know the answer? Yeah. Okay, let me just highlight the answer and let me explain why. Yeah. So before reading a story, something that I said earlier, yeah, the topic is not really appealing. Yeah. You want to generate interest, and that's why you're giving your students a quiz about elephants. Yeah. In our case, about a person they admire, perhaps that'll be used. Yeah, something like this. That will help generate interest and keep them motivated. Right. Let's talk a little bit about young learners. So here I'm highlighting quite a few things we need to consider when we teach young learners. Well, first of all, their needs and their expectations. So when they come to class, and let's say 7-year-old children, yeah, they're very, very physically active. Yeah, they want to move around. So that's the first thing I'm highlighting here. So the second thing, they have their emotional needs, and quite often they don't know how to express their preferences. So we need to teach that. We need to cope with different changes in their moods, yeah, and help them actually feel at ease in your lessons. And finally, of course, because they're still developing, they're young learners or younger learners, yeah, we need to focus on developing their thinking skills, cognitive skills. Quite often they won't be able to describe, define, talk about abstract concepts, right? Things like that. So using meta language with young learners is not effective. Perhaps you'll be using a variety of activities and tools to help them understand the rules. Another thing is how we practice new language. Yeah. So first, students need to hear whatever new expression or word is. That's why we're using a variety of songs, chants, stories, and so on. Then perhaps they can listen and repeat. They can join you, yeah, and clap, for example, when they're not ready to produce that. They can respond by using gestures. There is an element of total physical response there. And then when they're ready, they will join you and they'll be repeating. And then as a final stage, yeah, we can add the written record, and we can work on developing their literacy to help them recognize new words in the written form. So those are important principles of teaching young learners. When we work with young learners, we use a variety of activities and task types, and you can see here quite a few that I'm highlighting for you. Hopefully you are using most of them. I enjoy using different flashcard activities. You know, you can take a seat on a carpet, yeah, on the floor, and ask your students to match things, yeah, to play with them. You can cover them. There are a variety of guessing games. Yeah, Anna, you do the same, right?
I love flashcards. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and some other things I'm highlighting here are very useful. Obviously, we need to understand why we need to use like flashcards, for example. It's mostly for recycling, for practicing the language, yeah. Whereas projects, for example, it's there is an element of task-based learning there. We are focusing on productive skills. We are helping students communicate in a meaningful way. Like when they, for example, draw something, they'll be asking you, can I have a yellow pencil, please? Or something like that. And there is this communication that we want to promote in the classroom. Let's have a look at Tkt Young Learners sample task. We have a variety of activities. Some of them I've already mentioned, and a description. So which activity is that? Which one is described? I'll give you a moment to think. Okay, so it is actually an information gap activity when students have different pictures, and that's why they have an information gap, right? So they don't know what their partners have, and that pushes them to use language to communicate, to identify the differences. Yeah, that's a very nice tool, actually. It is working well for young learners, well, for adults as well. Now, we are coming towards the end of this event, and I want to give you some tips how you can prepare for TKT. So, for example, you've decided that you want to focus on teaching young learners. Yeah, you focus on Tkt Young Learners then you go online. The links will be available, and I will share with you all the collections. Yeah, and download the materials from their websites. Yeah, all of them are available there. So the website will look something like this, and you just click on the right test you are interested in, either Tkt 3 Models or Young Learners or CLIL. And you can find a variety of resources there. There will be a handbook. Yeah, for each model, whatever model you want to take, there will be a separate handbook. Well, Tkt 3 Models comes in one booklet, but Tkt CLIL and Young Learners are separate booklets. Then there is a glossary. Keep in mind that if you're planning to take Tkt CLIL, perhaps it's a good idea to have both glossaries on CLIL and the general terms. And there will be some sample papers. So you can choose some other useful materials, or maybe you can consider enrolling on a preparation course. And then you're ready to register. So you think, okay, that's my goal. In a month's time, I'll be ready to take the test or something. So I want to choose the date and the exam center. So again, the same website, yeah, you go there and you click on search for an exam center, and you can find quite a lot of centers. Like in Moscow, I'm highlighting quite a few. Yeah, I'm working for BKC Center, so it's quite a well-recognized exam center. So if you consider taking a course to prepare for TKT, there will be quite a few components there that are very useful for candidates. One of them is pre-testing, yeah, to identify what you are good at and some areas you need to consider working on. There will be a lot of activities that you'll be doing to help you revise the terms and refresh your knowledge in general. There will be quite a lot of practical examples from real lessons. We'll talk about, well, I'm saying we, you don't have to enroll on the course with me, but obviously trainers usually consider having a look at different sample papers and different task types so that it is like an automatic thing. Yeah, you don't have to think much during the test. And of course, there will be a lot of reflection that will try to encourage you to be involved in. Now, obviously, there are some activities you can do with guidance, with some guidance, and that's why I'm highlighting a variety of courses I am running. So if you need some help, just drop me a line. I'll be happy to discuss with you what you need. But some of the things you can do independently on your own. If you just plan your lessons, then run them as a kind of experiment, and then you evaluate the success of different lessons. Yeah, you're already working on your professional development. So that's a very good thing to do. you can also share with your colleagues what you're doing. And nowadays, of course, we all like sharing things online with like-minded teachers in different social media communities. Yeah, we can blog, of course, and take part in online teacher training sessions like this one. So quite a few things that can be done. So this slide, I think we'll be sharing the slides right after the session. Is that right, Anna?
Oh, you mean sharing where?
Oh, the same link that you usually share at the end of the session. Yeah, I can attach my slides there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay.
That's great.
So yeah, so here is a list of useful resources that you may
Wow.
find useful. Like the first one is, for example, yeah, I mentioned David Marsh, so you can see the name of the book, the proper name, and all the authors and everything. Quite a few books that you may find useful, even for, I don't know, developing your skills beyond the CELTA level, or even, Delta qualified teachers may find them useful. Yeah. They're just good sources of information. Like if you want to explore Model 1, how languages are learned, yeah, there is a nice source basically with the same name, How Languages Are Learned by Lightbound and Spada. And a variety of other sources, including the book by Scott Thornberry mentioned earlier about language. Yeah, so to help you work on your language awareness. That's basically it. And yes, if you are interested, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. Here is the link to my page with all the information about the courses I run, and you can drop me a line. We'll have a chat about your professional development.
Wow, this is incredible. Yeah, we'll keep it for a while so you can use your cameras, because nowadays in cameras on your cell phones, there is a function for reading the QR codes, or actually all the links to Anna's profiles you can find in the collection. I've already shared with the resource collection. They're also, I've shared around twice with our reflection space. Please add your feedback. Please don't forget to add your comments as well, like context, sorry. And I just want to say thank you, Anna, so much. I passed my Tkt around 8 years ago. Oh my gosh, I had only one book. You shared with so many resources. It's blown minding. And I just want to say thank you so much. I want to say to our people to tell you that please, as a free thank you, click the like button, subscribe to Anna's Instagram, follow her, check out her tab link because she has already shared with amazing resources there. And if you have any questions, personally, from my experience, I should say that if you've got a trainer, it's much easier to pass this exam and get your band 4. And as I've promised, Anna, do you still have some time for Kahoot?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to remove for a while, and please check out the live chat so you can find the resource collection, because there are lots of resources. And I'm going to start sharing my screen in a second, and we're going to take Kahoot. I suggest you to prepare your devices so you can follow the link that I'm about to share. So you can go to www.kahoot.it. Just give me a sec to share with the link, and you can join the game there. I'm using nickname generator, so there are no accidents with messing around with the names. I mean, and I'm not talking about teachers here, by the way. Yeah. So give me a sec. Here is the link to Kahoot. And while I'm doing this, Anna, just want to pay attention to the all great comments that are coming on your way. Thanks for this webinar. It's from Valerie. Thanks. It's useful because, yeah, Valerie really wants to pass this exam in April. He mentioned this. Thanks for sharing resources. Thank you, Wafa. Thank you so much for joining. And from Olga, thanks for being an active part of this webinar. Thanks a lot, Valerie, too. Wonderful webinars coming from Valerie. And I should go to demonstration part. Let me start the game, and I'm going to back to you in a while.
Can I play too?
Oh, sure, please do it. Please. Oh, I think that you will smash us like little kittens. But
okay, I won't be doing that then.
No, please do it. I always play with my students as well.
I love games.
Yeah, please do join us. Okay, so everyone, if you're ready, I'm going to go to the demonstration part. Just give me a sec to check all of our settings over here. And yeah, I think we're ready. So you can see your all the responses, the options that are going to be there on your devices, and it's really important, I think. Okay, just let's play it. Okay, now it's generating the pin code. I mean, give it a sec.
I don't know why,
Okay.
but somehow I can't see them.
Oh wait, I'm not sharing yet. Just a
Yeah.
sec.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, it took some time. Okay, and we go there. Yep. You can probably hear the sound, and I'm sure that you can see it right now. So here's the game pin. As I mentioned before, there is a friendly nickname generator.
Can you share QR code to join the game, or it's not possible?
I don't think so. It's on Quizlet,
Okay,
but let me check it. Okay, just give me a sec. Oop.
So then we need to download Kahoot first, right?
No, it's not necessary. You can follow the link www.kahoot.it, exactly this link. Yeah. So we've got Mr. Bunny. I like this nickname generator. It's really friendly, and I can see that 2 people have already joined us. Anna, do you want me to send somewhere? I don't know where I can share with you, like www.kahoot.it.
Yeah, I used to have that app, but I think I removed it. Yeah, that's okay. I'm nearly there. Just a second. Yeah, just a second.
Don't worry.
I'm not that fast.
That's totally fine. We are going to start. I'm going to give you 5 minutes so everyone can join us and have this fun. I love Kahoot, really. So give me a sec. I'm using Kahoot app because it's really much easier to find the pin code area. Oh, pin. Oh, not code, but pin code. Okay, so enter pin. Oh, and if you are the winner, please try to use your screenshotter, or just take a screenshot that you can prove that you are the winner, that you took the very first place. So I will give you the certificate of the winner. Absolutely. I love this part. Okay, so 427502. Here we go. I like the spinning part, you know? Oh, something happened with my app.
They are saying that there is a line to join this game. I don't know. Maybe it's just my problem.
There is the line, player limit reached. Oh my gosh, how is that? Okay,
it's okay. You can play with those who joined you.
Oh, it's so sad. Well, just give me a sec. I would love to check out what happened here. Just 1 second. Yeah, now I see. We had this issue once, but probably this is the privacy setting. So what? I'm not sure.
That's a shame.
Yes, this is. I'm sorry, I haven't checked this yet, but I couldn't because I needed more than 2 players at once. Oh, 3 people are really lucky to join this one.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's play.
I think, we have to start because, time flies. And so I'm so sorry to those who couldn't join us today. So sorry for that, guys. Yeah. So you can check yourself, by the way. This is all about learning. Yep. I will attach this Kahoot link to our collection. So don't worry, you can play it. Yeah, I know about the player limit reached.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. I'm so jealous to you.
Such a nice idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I will edit this creation of mine. So I will edit our resource collection, and let's see. If you please share in the live chat who is playing right now. I mean, who are these people who are playing right now? Okay. So, Legends Ibex, I guess. How many core modules are there? Why is there a limit? I have no idea.
Maybe you have too many sets.
Oh, probably, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was highlighted that you're using the basic version of Kahoot.
Yeah, they want me to pay for it, but I had my trial period. Now I don't want to pay like more than
That's it. That's it.
100 euros.
Yeah, that period is over. That month.
Oh my God. But it was sad, like 50 players per game. 50. It was mentioned on basic one. Tkt Core Model 1 task candidates knowledge of. Yeah. Okay. So some things you can learn, further a little bit. I really like this sound. There are 10 questions only, so don't worry, we are going to move through them really fast. Yeah, Mystery Bunny is coming to the top list.
Well done.
Yay. Come on, the third player. Yay. Lucky glider. Awesome.
Catching up. Well done.
So the sixth one. So true or false, right? Wow, my congratulations. 3 out of 3 with the correct answer here. Yeah, Anna has shared with everything, actually, with every little detail, and I think these questions must be really easy for you to take. And the last one, someone has missed the question. Ooh, Mystery Bunny. Nice. So the next one, the 8th one. So fantastic. Well done, Mr. Bunny.
That's a nice example of an odd one out task, right?
Yes, exactly. I was thinking about the same when you were sharing about this. Wow. And I guess the last one. Please drop a comment to the live chat who Mystery Bunny is and the rest of the players. And this is really easy one. So there is only one correct option here to take.
We can lie.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
So here's the podium. Yay, Lucky Glider! Congratulations! And the first place, Mr. Bunny!
Well done, well done.
Yeah,
It's interesting who Mr. Bunny might be.
So please do share in the comment box, okay? In the chat box, Q&A box. Please do it.
That person might register for the test. It's right now, yeah? Without doing anything or preparing.
That's so incredible. Yeah, and I just want to say thanks to everyone who joined our session today. Thanks a lot for your time and really appreciate it. Mr. Bunny, Valerie, is it you, Mr. Bunny? Is it correct?
Oh
my gosh. Oh, there's Wafa, and she's the Lucky Glider. So, Valerie, I think it's high time for you. Yeah. Oh, actually, Valerie has already registered in April.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
that's fantastic. Wow,
Quite in advance, yeah? That's what Sarah
absolutely.
planning is like.
So I just want to say thanks to everyone. Oh, there are congratulations to Valerie, to Mr. Ibani. Okay, this is your nickname, you can change your handle everywhere, Mr. Ibani. Wow, this was so much fun. Thank you so much. I would love to say a huge and massive thank you to you, Anna, because you spared so much time with us. You're incredible, super positive, and amazing teacher trainer. I totally suggest you, and I really want to say how much we appreciate you here, and I'm sure that other teachers, they're going to rewatch this session, because I know that this time is really busy for everyone across the globe, because I've got many global friends, and I wish you to all stay healthy and safe. Thank you so much, Anna. Do you want to add anything here? Just
Well,
anything?
thank you for having me here. Yeah, it's been fun. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, hopefully, you can mix some ideas and the whole TKT is no longer a mystery to all of you.
Wow, this is incredible. Thanks, everyone. Please check out the live chat. You can find all of the resources, the links, and do follow Anna on Instagram. Check out her tap link, as I mentioned before. And don't forget to subscribe, like this, hit the like button so many and more teachers can watch this across the globe. And I just want to say thanks, everyone, again, Anna. Huge appreciation. And thanks, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.